Welcome back to Inside Nashville. Our guest is Steve Buchanan. So Steve, you oversee the Opry, you oversee the Ryman, WSM-AM, other television and media properties such as Hee Haw. So that's not enough. You're not busy enough. You decide you're going to get into television production, and in the introduction I outlined some of the things that you had done that have been very based in the Opry or in the business that you've done. And so this new television show, Lionsgate is your production partner, ABC Television is the home network, also the home network for the CMA properties, and the show is called Nashville. And what I understand, this was your idea. This was kind of like your baby. You had been distilling this, caring for it, took it out to LA, and the timing happened to be right. Tell us a little bit about that, and give us a sneak behind what we can expect in Nashville. And then maybe the third part of that is just to talk a little bit about what you think the impact of this could be, not only for your businesses, but for the greater extension of Nashville.
Yeah, my experience in television production had been primarily involved with music performance or interview shows with artists, and so in making, over the years, making the journeys out to LA and meeting with people and talking about different opportunities, I came to believe that there was an emerging opportunity for us to do a show that was based out of Nashville, that was scripted. For non-scripted reality shows, you had, which were with a lot of music performance. You had artists who were coming out of that, like Carrie Underwood, Scotty McCreery, and really multiple other artists who have kind of landed on the Nashville scene, and not just coming out of American Idol. You also had scripted shows like Glee and Smash that were incorporating musical performance, and that is a huge sea change in primetime television. And I mean, literally before American Idol, everyone just said what the variety show is dead, and it had been decades. But now, not only did you have what truly are the variety show of the day, but you also had scripted television with musical performance. And so I thought, well, there is no more popular form of music in America today than country music. There isn't a center of any other genre of music other than country music and Nashville. There are amazing backstories for every artist, which all involve wonderful dramatic twists. And so figure, why not? And it really became almost an immediate quest of, let's make sure we get there before anybody else wakes up and decides that this opportunity exists. And started out looking at it, you know, is it a drama? Is it a sitcom? Landed on the fact that it makes more sense as a one-hour drama. I met with different producers. Met with ultimately with Lionsgate. We had offers from a couple different studios, and then we're fortunate to get Callie Curry, who has a great understanding of Nashville and the music industry from when she lived here earlier in her career, and so it's really just gone from there. But it's a very involved and complicated process, and so but it's also invigorating.
And Callie wrote. She won an Emmy for Academy Award for Thelma and Louise, And the two main characters of the show are two women as well,
right?
Kind of
yes.
juxtaposed to each other. Can you talk a little bit about that dramatic aspect of it, and what we can expect to see, maybe at least in the first show?
So what we have done is really merge the aspects of the music industry and with our primary focus on two artists, an established superstar artist and an up-and-coming young female. And that all of that is intertwined with family and community-based dynamics, and so you have the industry, the business piece, sort of at the center of it, but it's a drama, and so there's plenty of it's power, music, and politics.
Power, music, and politics. I like that. And so, what, in terms of some of the properties that you oversee, were you able to, or are any of them showcased in the shows?
The show is, the pilot was shot all on location in Nashville. We're shooting the entire show in Nashville. We built out a sound stage, so it's a mix of location and sets that we've have built on the stage, which includes an exact replica of the Bluebird Cafe. There we shot, for the pilot, we shot 3 days at the Bluebird, we shot 4 days at the Opry House. One of the really cool things, one of the very important characters in this is our namesake Nashville. And my feeling was from the beginning that the show has to be shot here, because the Nashville is not only a backdrop, but it is very much a part of the show and the essence of the show, and those locations play such an important role in the feeling and the dynamic that you're trying to create.
And it's another flame. I mean, it's kind of interesting, back from our introduction of you. You do oversee some very, very important brands for what country music is and what Nashville is, and now you're overseeing yet another very important, what we all hope will be a very iconic name within media. How has that been relationally, being a television producer engaged with, I mean, it's one thing to do an Opry show. Now you're talking about network television and LA productions. Has it been harder than you thought it was going to be? How's that process been from your experience, what you do on a day in and day out basis?
It has been certainly more involved than I ever anticipated. People that work in television production work very, very, very hard, long days. I mean, just for the pilot alone, we went through close to 10 different script revisions. It is I didn't realize the odds that were against us in getting through and ultimately being picked up. It's a high stakes game, but it's one that is very, very exciting to be a part of. It also can be exciting and exhausting. But I think that this show, uniquely so, can have an impact on our community in terms of people wanting to come here and be a part of it and visit Nashville and see it, and it really becomes a showcase.
And if I'm not mistaken, from an economic development perspective, what you're talking about, this will be the first time that the state of Tennessee, the sound stage that you mentioned, that's the first time that we've ever had a real sound stage in the state. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, it's a facility that can be ultimately used not only by us, but by other production companies that are coming into town.
Right.
Whether it's for video production or television or film production.
Well, hopefully that'll be maybe 7 or 8, 9 years from now
Yeah,
before they can have access to using it. Our guest today on Inside Nashville has been Steve Buchanan. Steve, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here with us.
My pleasure.
Great stuff. Continue to keep those flames alive. You continue to do a great job, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching Inside Nashville. Join us again on our next show.